gonna get spicy.
That's what I'm saying, Stacy.
You guys are just sunbathing at the fucking at the windows.
Hi, Maidenzel.
Up the stairs to the right.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
This is not how many people? Everybody and their mother's gonna listen to this meeting.
Yeah, just don't
JJ,
walk
I
into the
told you
courtroom
this.
where you're gonna get a.
Should be televised, you know.
I think they honestly should. I think more people should know what's going on
What's that
here.
television network that
Hi,
airs
Roman.
baddies? We should contact Zeus. We should get Zeus to air this.
But why can I hear
This is the
Ventura?
mayor's office. It's out here.
Oh, there's no soundproofing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're downstairs.
Also, I wouldn't recommend walking into the courtroom unless you experienced
Hi, team.
tinnitus.
Hello.
Wait, where'd the arm go?
Is the alarm going off again or something?
Only if you go into the courtroom.
I can hear it
Ooh.
from here.
Oh, me went into the
Yeah, I
courtroom.
can hear it. You know, anybody who does any roof running, it gets really bad really quickly.
Yo, there's gonna be spicy.
Intelligence folder on the table there.
That's mine.
Wait,
Because I'm very
what kind?
intelligent.
Is
Right there.
it,
See, Brian,
is
right
it a
there.
blue?
No, it's just a regular one. See it? The head?
Oh, those aren't worth that much.
What are they, like 100 and something? 150?
No, normal int folders are like 50 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I popped the power over there just in case I got to quickly exfil.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your scav rep, Brian?
Well, like 3.7, not too much.
Nah, you need to get it up.
Yeah. I found this new thing. You go into one of those co-op exfils and start popping shots and let the scav walk over. So,
Brian, the tech is you get max scav rep and you don't even do scav runs. You just spawn into a factory and insta extract.
That's crazy.
So you get so much stuff with max scav rep.
You also there's a bit of a scav thing you can do where if you transit on a scav and then close it down, you keep your scav loadout. Yep. So if you so if you in theory find like a really good loadout, you can then transit, close the game down, and you keep that scav loadout, and you can go to streets and like keep rolling it. You know what I mean?
I'm writing this shit down.
that's smart. What I've been doing is I'll walk up to people and I'll tell them to slice my arm for a quest, and then I'll shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Or just get Ubers.
Brian,
Uber.
you can't do that.
You can't
Yep.
do it. You gotta make us value yourself more.
That's it.
No, I mean,
that's the tech.
Yeah.
That's how you
That's not
farm
okay.
scav
That's
rep.
crazy tech.
Yeah.
That's tech.
And the best thing is, then others around think I'm doing something wrong, so they'll shoot at me, and then I get to shoot them as well.
You say, hey, I'm doing this scav this fence quest.
Right.
I gotta kill something with a broken arm. Can you break my arm real quick?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's one of the tech. The other tech for scav rep is just take Ubers.
Yep.
You guys Ubers in Tarkov?
Yeah.
Where do they take you? Do you just like?
So
Why is there Ubers operating in fucking Tarkov?
Well, it's like CIA extracts, kind of.
What?
Hang in there, Maeve. Hang in there.
Give it time. Waymo
Dude,
will
I've
be
been
there.
listening to this fucking Tarkov shit for like 2 days now.
As important as I'm sure it probably is, we are already 5 minutes into the meeting. Shall we get started?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but bear in mind it's Swedish customs, so you have to kind of natter for the first 5 minutes before you go into any formal business affairs.
We need to talk about Sweden. So, who wants to start?
Hey, I'll start. There was a court case yesterday that showed some damning stuff with regards to contract law and the fact that this probably should be some rework of that, more in particular towards verbal contracts and the way that those work. And that the APCPA kind of, as much as the APCPA is a good act, it doesn't really cover the necessities of things when it comes to just verbal contracts as such.
If you check report number, report number 35222, I wasn't here to be able to say
what was the
update
number?
you get. 35222. It's a Blaine and Los Santos County document.
I can't see that, unfortunately.
We can share it too, possibly, but it might be difficult to do it to
It's
everybody.
okay. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it.
But if you look, the red is what we look to remove, and the green is what we look to add. If you want, like, I was just gonna go over this with you guys anyway. We were looking to remove the verbal part of verbal contract and just do written. And then we were wanting to add a section on properties, vehicles, and contracts of the mayor's offices, like time-wise within its only term, the properties itself, properties and vehicles. Peggy brought up a good point of the vehicles being an issue. There also was state-sanctioned properties within the real estate app, and also zoning and permit rules on properties itself.
So I wonder if, as such, that maybe the APCPA should purely move to just covering property contracts and terms that guide that. And Grayson, didn't you work on a contract thing before?
I wrote multiple versions of this. It was much more simple, and just like it did not do what this does, because it's just an affirmation of contract law being a thing, to be real.
Yeah, I wonder if we should probably expand on your version and separate APCPA out to, in theory, just be cover contracts for properties to give the people who want to rent properties a bit more protection. And then as such, we move to the idea of moving an actual contract legislation that covers it a bit more.
Could do.
Also, a good note was that the contract being binding must have been signed, or sorry, was drafted by a bar certified lawyer. We should change that verbiage to certified by a bar certified lawyer.
Can do. Hold on.
I'd legislate what that means, right? So if you can put certified, I'd also put in like by being signed in the contract app, right? Like because otherwise people are gonna call in lawyers after the fact and say, you said this was okay, right? And you probably want more proof than that, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. Why are verbal contracts requiring an attorney to certify them?
That's what I'm saying, Angel. I think we should remove contract legislation.
Verbal contracts are literally just the guy going, "Hey, I'll give you this Pokemon card in exchange for $20," and you say, "Okay, I agree." That's a verbal contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
why would you ever want verbal
strip
contracts to
APCPA
begin
of
with?
kind of covering contracts and move that into its own contract legislation. It's a smaller, more bite-sized thing.
Might be a good idea, yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys drop that up, so then I can know what to remove from this one, that would be
Yeah, I mean, I was
perfect.
one of the underwriters of APCPA, so I know it pretty well. So I can kind of edit it all around and fuck with it.
Lovely.
If you just mark what you've done,
Verbal
if you want, you can work in
contracts
this one if you'd like, because
are
I've already made the
like-
changes that we would like to see. If you just put it in a different color so that we can see what is done, then that would be perfect.
Someone's gonna get
What's the
fucked in the
purpose of your
ass.
changes regarding the mayor vehicles, etc.?
According to Peggy, there was issues with Peggy. What was it? What was the issue that you brought forward? It was go-karts?
It's probably the
people give up
go-karts.
their shit. Yeah, and the go-karts continue to go through all the mayors and not get stuck on for the next millennium.
I mean, in general, we're struggling to get properties, cars, and just regular state buildings, not even just like houses and stuff like that. We're just struggling to get that from like 3, 4, 5 mayors ago.
Yeah, I think it was just so rather than it's spending weeks and trying to recover property that was purchased for the state, it just kind of gets given over in the first time. I understand that sometimes it takes time, right? But it's I think what we've had people try and chase it, and by the time they've even got anywhere, they've already been out of office.
What's the main holdup on that though?
Hey, not sure if I have the key for this door or not, but I hope I'm on time.
So we currently.
I can hear you guys down in the lobby, by the way.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we know.
So we currently have we've located some of the assets. Some of them have been returned. We're currently trying to investigate a plane that is missing. We're not sure where the plane is. There's no kind of trail without kind of asking for some subpoenas and bank records just to find out where it did end up in the end. But at the moment, we're dark on the plane. But
so I have a suggestion on this one. The state is actually more than capable and willing to help you transfer properties if you have the legal rights to it. And I'm sure if you could actually just show the proof to them, that they'd be willing to facilitate them back. I don't really see why this is getting hung up so much.
That's
yeah,
kind of what they're waiting on right now, outside of the plane, because there's two, like, Charles has 2 properties and some go-karts that belong to him, and we're just waiting on clarity if they want to go through a process or if it's just something that we could just transfer over.
Yeah, that's already gone to the state. Yeah.
What's stopping you guys from just transferring the shit over?
Legalities.
People fight this shit. So
This guy ain't
when
coming
I
back.
look at section 2.6, right? When I look at section 2.6a, it is within the rights of the mayors of San Andreas to purchase, maintain properties and vehicles for the better of the counties. Have you thought about writing a foundational piece of legislation, like just between the mayors, make it statewide, that basically states flat out any properties bought by the mayoral counties will be held in trust for the mayoral counties until the term ends of that particular matter, and just leave it like a 2-sentence piece of legislation that foundationally at state level underwrites all property purchases by the mayoral counties that, you know, just gets around 90% of this bullshit.
Wait, now
Every
Angel's
single
going to
term
say
that
something.
happens.
Watch.
Yes, we discussed obviously adding it into the piece of.
I just realized
legislation,
this
but
meeting can turn into
have a conversation about maybe making a separate piece just so it's
who to vote for
it's
between the two.
So there's no surprise Pikachu when people just won't give you back the 5 houses they bought.
If you look at section 2.6a and then 4, I do say something about grace period. It was something along the lines of what you guys made for
I just
another,
realized this could get real spicy.
another piece of legislation.
No,
that
I
copied.
see this. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying, Don, and I like it, right? I think this all makes sense. I just think if you had like a single piece of legislation that just says you don't own this shit, you're holding it in trust, it underwrites all of this and like provides like legislative backing for any movement going forward.
I can add it to the end of A, right? Like end of A. I can say it that like at the end of A, these counties are not owned by the individual but by the county itself.
I do think this is quite over legislated also.
I mean, yeah, it's over legislated for a reason because we've had how many court cases now that have been an issue?
It's very much under legislated because any action requires there to be legislative backing, as the governor said many times. And there needs to be a piece of paper somewhere that says that the state can facilitate these transfers between people without their consent. That needs to just has to happen.
But I think within this report right now that it is over legislated in there, and I think what Grayson's saying with making like just a couple of lines in statewide legislation would be the better option here, and keeping APCPA purely for rental properties and then moving contract legislation elsewhere as well.
I honestly, I will say I disagree. I think it is needed because we have had things that even there was a court case that you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying this isn't needed. I'm saying I don't think it needs to go in this piece. I think it should be separated, like Grayson was saying.
Yeah, we can do, and then we can rename this one to whenever you guys make your contract one.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done quite soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it done in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wait, there's no.
Is anybody against making a document between the 2 counties of listing all of the properties and things? Because like
we have one already.
Listed.
Yeah, we've got one for we can make a statewide one. Absolutely.
Yes. Perfect.
This conversation is probably also going to change depending on how the outcome of this pending litigation on the docket goes. That we're waiting on. So I think that it's going to be a bit difficult to take immediate action until that's resolved, which it should be today.
Mm-hmm. We do already have some form of precedent with that anyway, with the Party Hardy warehouse as well.
The and the Hanna-Barbera case was finished as well.
Yeah.
Was the verdict delivered already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
at least that's what my lawyer had said. Yeah. I need to follow through on that next.
What was the outcome?
Oh. Stepping down. Where is it? Oh my gosh. It might take me a second.
Concluded. It's not concluded yet.
No, we're still waiting. So I'm
still waiting for
judgment. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. The way she'd stepped down, I thought it was finished. Okay. Anywho, what else were you guys wanting to talk about? So you mentioned properties and contracts that you needed to work on. That you were wanting to work on. And what else were you guys wanting to work on?
I've had a conversation with Eve in regards to Chamber of Commerce legislation.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement that we can repeal that and work on something and then get that repealed just to a piece of legislation that kind of makes sense with our current workings?
Yeah, it needs to so that we can build something better from it.
Okay, perfect. We'll get that done.
I also wonder if the LOL GG Act from the court case yesterday as well needs to
I was wanting to repeal that for a long time.
Hey, I just profited off of that.
No, Brad, I think it doesn't really cover in doing like a civil gamble with each other, if you know what I mean. I think that's where there was some ambiguity within that case, is that there probably should be more coverage over like a death roll is binding as such. But then you argue that it's a contract. So.
Hey, you know something? I just think if you're going to fucking gamble in front of witnesses, you should have to honor the debt.
100%. That was a very good
And
ruling
I'm $1 million richer from that. You know, the riches keep getting richer. I've accumulated a massive amount of wealth.
If I said the social committee of Los Santos Police Department, would anybody know what that is?
I know exactly what you're referring to. Yes.
What?
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, I know what that is.
Has it ever been used?
Not officially, no, but I mean,
take it away from her.
They kind of do things, but don't officially do it through that.
Obviously, we've been looking through legislation. There is a piece of legislation in there that might not necessarily need to exist. Is that something that is being used by the LSPD, or could we? I mean, can it be repealed? I suppose is it being used? Has it been used? Will it be used? Basically.
Which legislation so that they
say
can look it up?
I'll say it's never been used through the mayor's office, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that legislation was mainly introduced as like a precursor to what we have now, which is these services set up for the departments to be able to go and use.
So it would make sense if that was gone. Then really, if there's something else that kind of covers it.
Yeah, I mean that's super old, and I think it's definitely outdated and not really used. So
yeah, I mean it's nothing bad. We're just looking to kind of get rid of anything that's outdated that is covered by all the legislation. We're looking to kind of remove some of the bloat. But if there's pieces of legislation that are actively being
I'm gonna be honest, chat.
used, and we do bring up.
I was hoping there was going to be spice, and I'm surprised
to mention that
how
it's valuable.
I was expecting high key. There was going to be spice today, but everyone's so professional because they know their fate is in their hands today.
Would you guys be willing to take a second
so
to listen to what Maeve
today.
might have to say about some legislative changes she'd be interested in?
Absolutely.
Maeve, do you want to tell them what you were telling us earlier?
Yo. This is like last time.
About the firearms?
Yeah.
It's very small, but it's just something that's been bugging me recently. It's that. Wait, there's many criminals in here, is there?
Is that a trick question?
Hey, raise your hand if you've ever been in a gang.
Yeah, raise it.
Hey,
I'll raise my hand.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Oh,
raise your hand if you've ever been in a gang.
Yeah.
I'm raising my nub.
Oh.
Does PD count?
No, PD does not
yes.
count. CPD does, though.
Whatever.
Tampered firearms. This charge has been coming up a lot recently, as we have like multiple class 1s and 2s that are scratched off. But the charge essentially either becomes useless or contradicts the other charges, because it doesn't state whether it's a class 1 or 2 that's tampered. So you would pay 15,000 for a class 2 tampered firearm.
I have something on that actually.
Yeah.
There was a piece of legislation. This is actually what was talked about last time in the meeting, where it was then stated
Bang
that
Act,
Ruby. Yeah, the Bang Act, and it was said Ruby stated that officers have been charging both. That is incorrect. The Bang Act was introduced like ages ago, but then nothing ever happened with it, and that would take care of the problem that Maeve is bringing up. And I'm actually supposed to be asking today if there's any update on it, because it was introduced like months ago when Turner was still chief.
Before I had left, Jaina, or before everything was changing, Jaina was working on it, and I think it was ready to be finalized, I think, from what I can see.
I think there would be some changes that would be appropriate now, like introducing or including, I guess, the musket, probably.
Okay.
Shotguns and muskets. Sorry.
Yeah.
Never did that.
Eve, would you be able to share a report with Maeve and Opal?
Yeah, which one?
35952.
35952?
Yeah. Because that's what Jaina was
Shotguns and
Yeah,
muskets.
10955.
Shotguns and muskets.
1931.
Nicholas should be in your shed reports.
You guys are wanting those included in wherever, or any changes in this? Please let us know, because this is what was being worked on before.
Is this something that's going to be put through?
After we read through it, possibly, yeah. This is what that was going to be. This is what was working on at the time.
Yeah, I think the issue is Jaina's not with the current Ellis Mayor's cabinet. Like it was during Charles's term.
So what was the issue with this legislation? Like why is it being introduced?
From what I can understand, what Maeve is being stated that there's different
Wait,
classes of
I have
firearms
nothing to
being
do
found
with
that are
this.
tampered and uncertain
You're
what
good.
to charge people with, whether it's tampered firearm
Wait.
or the class 2, if I'm
You
or the
can,
class
So from what I was told by Ruby is that she was approached by DOJ and that she was told that possession of a tampered firearm
Everyone
only falls
is
under
so
offenses
proper
involving
today.
fraud and criminal possession of,
Everyone
for example,
is
a
on
firearm
their
class 1,
best
class 2, or 3,
behavior
falls
today.
under offenses against public safety.
Since so much
because
is
of that,
on
we
the
could
line.
and should charge both since they're
I was gonna
inherently
say,
different since they're in different categories.
like you're governing the class
so
of a firearm,
proper.
like its operating mode and its manufacturing intent, and then the firearm is for its scratched off registration, so like a registration status. I feel like if we want to distinguish it, we don't need to change anything. You just charge both.
Guys, can I be honest with you? The easiest way to do this is we define the weapons like individually on the charges. I mean, I think it's just that simple. Just define everything individually so that there's you don't have to have this conflict or let it go to court.
No. You want
define it, and then-
classifications, Brad. I'm sorry to disagree. You want classifications. If you go into prescriptive legislation, where you write in new things, the second you get a new shipment of weapons coming into the state, you're no longer capable of dealing with it until it's been re-legislated.
That's
like,
not true.
You want descriptions which lay
How
out
does that
what a
affect
class 2
us?
is.
That doesn't affect us.
You would really charge them.
Yeah,
No. So-
A PD firearm's a PD firearm.
And furthermore, to Pred's point, I think what has been suggested, even in this meeting before, was you have a general description like we have today, but then specified ones for those that have been fully classified.
Bingo.
I was gonna say, why not do
Okay,
both?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah, you could do both.
I think it's a good solution.
And then it's just like let the courts decide shit like that. We'll figure it all out. And if people want to contest it, go for it. The legal route.
If you put it in the penal code, you want to say something like this includes, and then provide a list, but it can't be exclusionary, so that only those things are legislated against, because that's happened in the past.
We come across them, they go to bench trial or they fucking contest the charge in court if it's not defined. I mean, it's a way for us to define it like more directly. I mean, isn't that the problem with a lot of the stuff that gets brought up here? Is it just the indirect kind of like a misunderstanding of what something is as opposed to what it actually is, based upon the opinion of officers and the public? Let's just legally define it. And then bam, let the courts decide. And if people want to challenge it, they have the route. Knight, do you agree with me here?
Yep.
Bam. Me and Knight don't talk much, but I think
can't
me and
believe you
Knight
two are
both
agreeing
agree.
on something right now.
Yeah.
I have a
Well,
question.
if Knight would talk to me, I'd probably agree with him on more things, honestly.
Yeah.
I have a question. Who in PD should we talk to about the classification, since we'd be writing this up? And I feel like I should be talking to you guys
It's a bigger
about the
conversation. than that.
classification.
I am
It's-
the PD weapons trafficker, so I will be available for any and all questions regarding weapons. I have
I
trafficked
think it's
them before.
I think it's a bigger conversation than that, though. I think that it's more of one of legality through the court system. I think that we can put whatever the fuck we want in writing, but I think that we got to let the courts decide. We got to give the public an opportunity to contest. I mean, listen, we got to get the public more involved. And even though most of these people are criminals that have killed my people, you know, we still have to do things the right way.
Yeah.
Why the court exists.
I agree. This is something that we can work on.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with coming across something that isn't defined, categorizing it in court, and then it getting added to the charge and added to the legislation. I mean, we just set up loopholes through legislation to allow for that type of thing to be added, but then it can also be contested at any point in time.
Oh, kind of like how SAMA classifies drugs, but a separate process though.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's
SAMA
so
doesn't have to
funny,
go through
chat.
that
How many
process at all, and
times
they can change the
have I had this
classification.
conversation going
SAMA
all the way
director
back
right
to
now can
Nino?
make all drugs
And every
legal
time
right
the
now, and no one
conversation
can contest
happens,
it in the immediate.
everyone in the room acts as though it's the first
Yeah,
time
that's
they've ever
the
heard
thing.
it.
Wait, is that
You
you?
can.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I've done it on
constitutionality
Nino
test.
for a
Oh my
year. I've
goodness.
then done it on Brian because it's
Stacey, we
such
might have
an
a talk
obvious
after this
answer.
one.
But
I
every
mean, that's another
time,
talk that we do have to have a discussion about is, I mean, look, the drug charges and everything are fucking heinous. I mean, me and Opal ran into one. How many bags did the person have, Opal?
53, sir.
53 bags equals a $2,000 fine and 30 months in jail. I mean, the system in itself's laughable because you've essentially made large scale drug dealing and drug trafficking legal. Minus if they get caught in the act of transporting meth. I mean, these are the type of things that you guys got to sit down and like iron the fuck out because everybody suffers because you make everything fucking meaningless.
oh
Well,
shit!
when you say you, it was done before me, so that's like me blaming every
Yeah.
problem that's ever happened on the city on you.
In her defense,
can.
a lot of this stuff was set up when the tone of things were supposed to be a little bit lighter. And you know that's not really on her, so I don't. I think it's fair to expect her to have to defend that, right?
Listen,
But that
the
doesn't mean we
problems of
can't
the-
change it now,
Yeah.
right? We can
The
change it.
problems of the past
Yeah, here we
police
go.
administration do fall on me. The problems of the past administration as Sama fall on you. We all have to be held accountable to a reasonable degree, step up and try and change things. and take action. No one's. I think you're too deadlocked on me blaming you. I'm not
have you
blaming
talked
you.
to
I'm just saying,
Opal?
what are you doing about it?
Have you talked to Opal? Because
Yes, I
literally
have.
about a couple of hours or a day after we spoke in the last meeting, I had a sit-down meeting with her. And I've sat down with my legislative board and we're working on how to make it so that we can appease you and keep the citizens. Also,
It's not about appeasing me. That shouldn't be a factor.
right. You're taking it personal when I say that as trying to appease
I'm not
the
taking it
PD.
personal.
Well, you are, because I'm saying
I
it as
talk
PD.
directly. I don't take any of this personal. You can do what you
well,
want.
Okay, well, whatever you'd like to say, Mr. Prid. We're trying to help PD
sounds
feel
like you're taking it
comfortable with
personal.
it.
Yeah,
We're trying to help PD feel comfortable with the choices that we're making on how much we're going to legalize so that you guys in the end are happier with their charges that are being given to criminals and citizens also feel that they have the right to things that, you know, like weed, for example. We're going to up the legal amount and then give you guys more, like, more rain on the butter. Like, I'll give citizens more to carry, and then after that, yeah, if they're doing anything beyond that, that's on you guys to figure it out. But I am working to try to figure that out, Mr. Pred. It's just, like they said, I'm working on a lot, and you're also asking me to change 2 years worth of legislation and all this stuff. And I have to work with both mayors because I don't legislate the actual decriminalization of it. I can just deem that it is medically, like, you know, that it is okay to have. I still have to work with the mayors to actually legislate the decriminalization of it. So I am working on this stuff. I just can't do it at the snap of a finger.
All right. I mean, well, how much time do you need?
Well, I just started last week. I got my first proposals written to try to see how much I gave Opal, some weights, and some thoughts. I have
Here comes the spice.
Has this been shared with Director Knight and Sheriff Frost? They need to be on the loop of these types of conversations as well as both county mayors.
Well, when I get a little bit more, like a definitive written answer, like I said, I just spitballed something with Opal, and I think we came to a good, like, you know, a good rough draft, and now I'll write that up. And then I've already talked to both mayors. I just need the other two. I need the sheriff and Director Knight, and I'm happy to sit down with everybody and finish it off. Like I said, I just don't do it at the snap of a finger because I'm also learning as I'm working through these things. So
All right, I get it.
patience is appreciated.
Yeah, I'll give you as much patience as you fucking need. All right.
And again, if you have any other questions, I'm always happy, and I'm here a lot. You can talk to me. Like I said,
Yeah, I'm like a dolphin right now.
The first thing I did.
I
was
just
sit
think a
down with
larger
your-
conversation needs to take place. I would like, how about we organize maybe a talk about this either after this meeting or at some other point in time. I'd like the director to be there. I'd like Sheriff Frost to be there. I'd like to be there, both mayors, you know, and then we could work things out. And then after we work things out, then we could sit down with the DOJ.
We can absolutely work that out.
I think that would be productive.
If you give me a time, I'll be happily available to do it. So if we do it after this meeting, I'm fine with that. If you want to set it up for another day, just give me the time and date. Most of the people you mentioned are here, so if they want to hash that out after this meeting, we can.
I don't know if they're as passionate about it as I am, so I'm not going to speak for them and make anyone do anything they got to do. We're all busy running departments and shit, so that's up to them, and that's up to all of you if you guys want to do that shit.
Well, the BCSO is very interested in that, so
I'm interested in gut time. It's been something that we've been wanting to work on since the beginning of my term.
Yeah, we can talk about it after this.
So then since we're talking about that after this, then sound everybody. Are you guys working on anything else that you want to present before I'm going on? I know we got kind of sidetracked.
I think we're all good for this week.
How are you guys doing on pending businesses stuff?
I mean that's all up to date and where we are. Obviously, we're having to we want a bit more accountability on grants. Obviously, as I think everybody in this room probably agrees. We're no longer giving out money without people giving us detailed kind of requests in regards for what they wanted for, right? So no longer will somebody be receiving millions and then paying themselves it as wages, just for having the idea of a business or an event. So there's been a bit of pushback from some people holding events, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's that difficult to tell us what you want that money for, what you need it for, and be able to give us a breakdown of who it's paying and what they're doing at the event.
Do you guys have? Yeah, go on.
I'm sorry.
No, continue. Sorry.
There wasn't anything else.
Do you guys have a follow through for afterwards? Like, are you guys getting receipts and stuff?
Yes, so that's all going to come into. So basically, what we're doing is we're having to look through all the existing ones that were there through Charles's term, come to some conclusions, and have some difficult conversations with people that have requested, money that is just astronomical in regards to what we're trying to do with the economy. And then we'll.
Recommendation, Mayor. You have maybe are you guys going to do like contracts where it's like they have deliverables in a set amount of time to like use the stuff for like the certain things? So like if they end up not doing it, it's a lot easier for like the director, or sheriff, and me to prosecute with our people.
I mean, the thing is, right? What we're gonna with us requesting in the format of what they're requesting the money for, that completely leaves open a very easy to track paper trail in regards to if you were investigating somebody that was misusing the money, right? So say somebody's requested 2 million and they've given a detailed list of what they've spent that 2 million on, who they've paid that to for the events, for example. It's very easy then to individually audit one grant, for example, right? And you can see if they haven't paid that money to who they've said they've paid it to in the same amounts that they've requested it, then obviously that's breach of bribes.
That would be good work for your bribe act people, I think, and then they can just pass it off to whoever.
Oh wait, I have a question about that. Are you like you mentioned all the following through with the event subsidy stuff, but I saw that the Quentin Quantum case was dropped.
Nope, that's untrue.
No, it's not
dropped. Nope.
Not dropped. Okay.
They dropped the one where they was asking for like edit access on the
Yeah,
sheet.
so we've had the newspaper that's completely misreported on that as well, which it's a bit disappointing. But obviously,
Yeah.
Hey, they've been
understandably.
misreporting on me too. Knight's been taking credit for all my shit for months.
So what was?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
What's being taken credit of?
What do you mean? Why you act stupid when we're in a room full of people? You know exactly what the
I'm
fuck
asking for an
talking about.
example.
Okay, can I drag this
Avalon
back onto
11.
the-
I'm sorry. This
Let me
is
drag
this
this
is
back
y'all's
into-
meeting. I can deal with them afterwards.
Thank you.
I require you to talk to me, bitch.
Okay, so like I was saying, have you thought about adding to your contracts a default judgment clause? Does anybody remember before Sanguine when the DOJ would deal with, the loan company default judgments every month, and we just claw their money back automatically if they, the request was made? Like, why not do that if this is happening all the time and you're trying to throw money at events? If it's being misappropriated, why not have a default judgment clause in there so we can just automatically claw shit back?
Yeah, so we are working on a contract that people will have to, agree to if they do want to receive any money. So it won't just be a case of it going out and then us having to chase after
Give
it
example,
and find
Herb
reason
Derp.
to do so, right? So that is being worked on. Obviously, an update on the Quinlan case. So the only case that was dropped is request for access to a document that Quinton wasn't willing to give Marlowe. As soon as I came into office, I had a conversation with Quinton and we were given access to that document. So there's no need to take that to court when we already have it. Obviously, we had a meeting with him, which was all posted on the docket, still part of the active open case, and he was very cooperative. He has given us access to all of his business bank records, and we are picking those apart, and obviously we'll proceed as necessary. But I won't go into too much detail, but it's definitely going to be an interesting case.
Yeah,
Definitely not dropped.
not dropped at all.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yippee! Accountability!
That's right.
Just to also make sure that you guys have all the reports that you need, we keep up to date an archive of all business proposals done and reason and why under report number.
Yeah, we've been using those.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I've
we
been
got it.
making sure that's up to date, so easy.
Yep.
Easy. So for us, there's going to be a few things just on the Blaine County side that we're going to be looking into. With Chug Act, we're going to be looking back into that again after talking with some marshals, looking into possible expiration of the licenses, consequences for not following through, guidelines for more specific guidelines for owners, employees, like it has in the Drugs Act, operation area, and making sure that the list is accessible in the MDT itself. What else?
I've tried to
Um,
communicate.
there was another thing that I was working on. I was wanting to repeal the little GG Act.
Able dog.
Because in my opinion, I think I was working on something with Breakaway in terms of gambling, but in terms of this, I just really don't
What's that
see
called?
the point. LOL GG.
LOL, like LOL?
LOL GG, yeah.
Well, that's lol. lol is LUL.
Also a bad word in some places.
So
And
It's
I'm
basically
just asking.
It was for
Here,
scratch
boy.
tickets, which don't exist.
I got a treat.
Don't have them in
for you.
24/7. And then also it just lists casinos. It doesn't do anything with it. It doesn't even it doesn't in any sort of way monitor the casinos or what they're doing. It just says that they exist with a business license. That's it. But that would require both of our looking into it. But I think we already discussed it a little bit. What do you guys? Have you guys had a chance?
I think
to look at
as
the
a
little
chief of police
GG
should be
at all?
coming to me first to inform.
It's just the first time it's been brought to my attention.
I forensically studied it yesterday.
Perfect. We'll have a chat about it then.
Yeah, we can talk about it a later day then, and then you guys just check it over.
I can't make
in
my-
terms of.
Is there just quick, is there anything?
Go on.
Is there anything else that legislates casinos in the
No.
county?
Not at the moment.
Right.
Nope,
Okay. So
none.
if we were repealing that, we would have to remake something because obviously we do have
I will. I can send over. I know Breakaway here had something working.
Wait, for what?
Didn't
Oh,
you send me a gambling thing?
yeah, but that was specifically to do with criminal time and like processing, not to do with general gambling in the state.
Oh, you want
Yeah,
about
it
like
was
definitely
fun.
ourselves?
Yeah, it was fun gambling.
Fun gambling. And then
Surely at that point, Breakaway, you just do a amendment to the Den Act.
Yeah, we did. We discussed that, but you need buy-in from both mayors, and I was operating from a BCSO only perspective at that point.
DenAct is also DOJ.
I'm sure
not
without speaking on
DO.
Denzel's behalf, I'm sure if Fred wanted that, then Denzel would probably have no issue in getting that through.
But also, we can't touch it.
And
I'm on board with whatever the mayor wants.
Ah.
DOJ.
Hey, DOJ, can we touch the Den Act?
For that, it'd probably be best to wait until Chief Justice is put in and give them the time to be able to decide.
I do agree. And here's the thing: the mayor is important to me. He is a part of my family. He is essentially my boss and could replace me at any time. I will support him in any way that he needs me to, and I will tell him my opinions if they differ or not in private in a respectable manner. Mayor Denzel, if I had a drink, I'd take a toast to you right now.
I mean, there's water bottles, right? Do you need a water bottle?
Sure, do you toast with water? This isn't some third world fucking country.
Well, we're in a professional setting, you know.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
water's not
good.
You should do water, maybe.
There's like an espresso machine back there behind Brian. You know, just
don't want to get drunk in front of everyone, Brian.
I don't give a shit about getting drunk in front of everybody. I just won't drive a car.
All right, fair enough.
Thanks, Opal. Hey, Opal, pass me that bottle.
But
of course.
I was discussing this with the previous mayorship, but there was
Nothing in
a
your
few charges that were brought forward to me by a few different officers.
Never
Firstly, attempted mass murder of a government employee. This is currently a bill so that you guys can see it. 35465. Attempted mass murder of a government employee. There's it just changes. It uses the same wording from another charge, where it just it changes any person who deliberately attempts to any person who either individually or in association with one or more persons
Receive
deliberately attempts.
a
'Cause then it
detailed
just
document or
parts of the whole.
it's you have to prove each. There you could argue I didn't shoot at each individual of those 12. And then with the thermal fuses thing, I changed it to felony possession. I proposed the change of felony possession of a breaching exothermic device because I know the DOJ was wanting to get rid of the thermal charge entirely, but then also was brought to my attention
to
that it
give
still
you
could be
a
used
document.
as a charge. So then I changed it.
Wasn't that the one where it's like they don't use one of these or they didn't and now they do?
But I was I'd spoken to a few different officers and
Communication does
somebody brought
not
up fuses and charges, and then I changed it to exothermic devices, but an exothermic device can also be anything that emits light. So it was breaching exothermic device now. If you guys would be okay with that. It's just changing the terminology.
The issue
And also,
here
I have
is,
a general question for the
you
room.
want a particular
It was brought to my attention that criminal transaction of a firearm only is for class 1s. Like when does it become weapons trafficking and like I'm pretty stupid in this sense because if you look at criminal transaction of a firearm, it just says class 1s. Does it need to change to include more or like what's the deal? Daisy might be able to speak more on this one.
I think I brought this up once and I was told just charge them with that and then they'll take it to court and then they'll get found not guilty and then we'll fix it to include more than just class 1s. And I said, well, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I agree
get
with
away
that.
with the crime.
I have to get food. I'll be back.
I agree with that. I would rather wait. I have food, Daisy. God. Yeah. Come here. I have food. I would rather fix a messy mess now for you guys than like wait for it later.
Yeah, if we see two cars about to crash, we don't need to wait for them to smack into each other, you know?
Hey, that's what I always told when I brought it up. I don't know what to tell you, man.
But yeah, like So then, is there a possibility to include all the different classes, or like, is that messy? How can I reword
A
that?
point of contention.
Any ideas from any
I mean,
of
you
the
can either
guys?
you can go one of like two ways, right? You can either just like
Mhm.
broad sweep and just have criminal transaction of a firearm,
Mhm.
and remove all class, or you can go with class 1, class 2, class 3, and have different charges for them with scaling numbers, right? Like, there's a multiple ways of going about it. It's just what do you want?
This is when I'd also ask the law enforcement in the room. What would you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer just to
Mandatory
Well,
death sentence for anyone
for
that
us,
sells
it's
firearms.
for us, it's kind of basically like the severity of a crime obviously means the punishment should scale with it proportionally, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, there's a lot of crimes that are pretty severe, but also maybe don't necessarily need to go to like a hot trial.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't want to speak for everyone, but for myself, I would like to see essentially a scaling system, you know, of selling like a class 1 or class 2 or class 3, working its way up to weapons trafficking, right? So there's basically a spectrum, and it's not just all or nothing. I don't know if Pred or Frost or Brian disagree with me on that.
Now, me and Knight are too busy going at
Yep.
it in text right now. I don't even know what
Yep.
the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Angel where they're just going to charges for class 2s, class 1s, class 3s.
Okay.
So just a quick question. Obviously, weapons trafficking, is that currently specified by the amount of class 1s?
No.
It's just any firearm.
Right. Okay.
It also includes RPGs and Molotovs. I think it's interesting because this charge is really vague, but it's also really
There
specific
is
at the same time.
communication.
So I feel like
Not
this
the
charge could
kind
also be
of
looked at too.
communication.
What's the difference?
You prefer.
Also, weapons trafficking requires transportation currently.
Further,
Yes, so
that's a
what
major
actually
Not
what
going
constitutes
to be
weapons trafficking right now?
privileged.
Like how would I get it?
Have you got a trunk full of cars and you're moving them from one place to another, and it's like a basic, right?
It doesn't matter on the class.
No.
The charge is still the same.
Yeah.
For 3
And
hours.
that's not a hood. That's a catch and
2
release
hours.
felony, right? That's 0-0 felony.
Does
So
it
it's
have
got to
to
go to
be-
court, but it's not a hood.
Does it have to be a quantity of weapons at the moment, or do you just have to be doing that?
6
with
plus.
it?
Any stands.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I was going at.
Thank you.
So basically, the LSPD is the only people that have done that.
Yeah, I mean, like depending on how you're going to scale that,
guys,
right? You
good
could
work.
scale. You could scale like say criminal transaction of class 3s, which are military grade hardware, right?
Only
You could scale
assume
that at the
there
same
is a
level
medical
as, you know,
disorder.
a 0-0 felony, where it's going to go to court, right? Because at least that's military hardware. If you're transporting that shit around or just selling that shit, if you find selling a singular
can't
RPG,
help you focus.
probably should be going to court.
That's on you to solve.
Okay. Noted. I will work on this. I'll work on this to try and make a scaling system and bring it back for the next meeting.
I mean, if you need any help from us, we'll help you.
That's why I made it a bill so that you guys can see whenever I'm working on it. That's it for us. We did a Winter Wonderland. Both of our community centers are open to the public. At all, like, can be used for whatever. There's I said what they were used for last time. You're all finished,
Ooh.
ready to go.
What I would say, Dawn, is if you're going to do this, if you're going to do like scaling charges, if
Yum.
you're earlier today, we were talking about
Yeah.
the definitions of the different classifications,
Are
which
you-
are basically
Mhm.
contained within the weapons licensing charge. If you're gonna like nail down
Bro,
specifically using
I
Fred and
genuinely
Brian's,
think this is so
ideas of
funny.
giving specifics, I'd nail those down first. I'd nail down your definitions first, and then do the charges after the fact, because that'll like really reflect where you're going with it legislatively, right? Have an overarching vision of where you want it to go. Because if you do the charges first and then the definitions come after, it might not match up the way you want it to.
You want it?
That sounds good. I'll mix it with the both. Make sure they match up.
I
Thank
actually
you.
have something to say regarding that. In the weapons and driver's license legislation,
Yes.
probably also it describes what a class 2 is there. We should probably just add shotgun there too, because in the actual class 2 legislation, it says and shotgun. I think it'd make it a lot easier if you just added shotgun to that legislation.
Probably have to end up changing that when we try and do this classification.
There's a lot of things that need to be noted down to be fixed in the near future. That's one of those things that we should write down.
Yeah, I'll put it down.
I was reading that for a separate thing, and I was like, wait, what the heck is a shotgun not technically a class 2? Then I dig deeper, and I was like, okay, yeah, it is, but it's written somewhere else that it is.
Okay, thank you for that. Added it to my list of things to do. Okay, that's it from us. We've been keeping up with all that. We're probably just major thing we're gonna be reworking is Chug so that it's easier to work with and make sure we can actually monitor the distillery lists and that kind of thing. But yeah.
I mean, just for Los Santos County, like, obviously in regards to, you know, moonshine and that as well, we're looking at kind of seeing what distilleries we currently have kind of active and still operating. So if there is anybody with any concerns on that, please come to me. I know a few of the marshals have come to me about legal dispensaries, which still are operating outside of properties that have been sold to other people. So yeah, we're currently on that and just kind of trying to get in contact with the people who own those businesses. If they're not operational, we'll get them shut down. But if yeah, any concerns in regards to, you know, businesses that are, I mean, especially the kind of distilleries and places dealing with marijuana, you know, please reach out to myself if you have any information on those or anything you want us to look into in regards to their licensing.
I do have a question about that, actually.
Yes.
Also, you're very quiet, Denzel. As of right now, there is no way for officers, other than like 2 reports myself and another officer have made to try and fix the issue. There's no way for officers to know if they come across a distillery, if it's a legal one or not, if they just find it behind some random building. This happened the other day, and there was an officer who didn't know about the report that we had made to list them, which is understandable because it's, you know, just a report, but right now there's no other way for them to know.
Could they be required to? Could they be required to chalk something on the ground?
It wouldn't last there forever.
Yeah,
rain
true.
would wash it away. Like,
I mean,
it's so hard. Like, especially when it's just behind a random building. Like, for example, at the Cauldron, you know, those moonshine stills are right behind the business. They're there all the time. There's people there all the time. The business is there. But when a moonshine business just has their stills behind a random abandoned building in the middle of nowhere, an officer might come across that, and maybe they don't know about the report that we made because of missing announcement or something, and they will just take it down, and then they're in trouble with the person who owns that legal business. But it's, you know, it's not like they've taken it down in bad faith. It's just, it's very hard to know.
Do you have any suggestions, maybe, on how we can better that system in general?
I think having the moonshine stills have to be in certain locations. Kind of like how if you don't have a business property, for example, like the Cauldron where you have yours at the back, maybe they have to have them in a specific place.
Yeah, we actually
like
did bring that up today. Yeah, because we talked about it because, for example, that business, like he's just on a random property that he doesn't own, which he should actually be renting from us in a capacity, which again is a problem too. And that guy made the legislation for Blaine County too. So it's a bit difficult for us to, now we have to redo the whole legislation again for like the 5th time, because it's just, it wasn't done right from the first time, because we're also going to implement actual distillery licenses expiring, because it says it never expires. That's such a loophole.
That is huge. One thing I think would be really good to focus on too is regulatory penalties for people that are not complying. Because I think that sometimes we forget in these legislations to put that part. There's usually like a lot of this is what the law says, but there's not usually much this is what happens if you break the law.
Yo, chat, this is the
So-
most
People hate
entertaining
consequences,
series
you
of
know?
text messages.
but-
I'm pretty sure
like,
that
ever.
that legislation had penalties, and then Billy Stroud came and spoke to me and said, "Oh, they're actually removing it."
Yeah, well, penalties are really important because otherwise, you might as well not even have a law in the first place.
I have a proposal, maybe. I don't know if everybody would agree, but I thought the 18th Amendment was great. Maybe we could just redo that and get rid of moonshine, and there's no gray area because it's the 18th Amendment.
What's the 18th Amendment, Jeb?
That was the one that made alcohol illegal. But
You
maybe
want
just
that
for
back?
moonshine. Maybe
You
just for moonshine.
You want prohibition back again?
Prohibition?
I feel like people would riot. Brad would lose
that
it
would,
if he
that
couldn't
would
drink.
solve all the. Well, no, just for the moonshine.
I'm
just
gonna
for these
drink anyway.
stills.
Make it illegal. I'll still do it.
Okay. I mean, I think that making moonshine illegal is not a terrible idea, but
It would bring more money for the county up north, to be honest.
And alcohol is a drug. Just talk to Sama. Get it scheduled.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down here. Let's
Yeah.
calm down, Grayson.
Hey, Stacey, what about smoking and nicotine?
All right, you
Let's
want
get
to
that
see me
scheduled
lose
too.
another captain on a Friday? Yeah, I don't think we should go this route. I'll lose a sergeant. I'll lose a goddamn captain. I'm already down one captain. All right, so let's kind of, hey, just don't drink and drive a car.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have anything else?
I mean, I know at one point
I got
moonshine was
not enough
costing
time
Los
for a
Santos
sky
County
run.
about $3 to $5 million a week in rehabilitation
welcome.
costs.
oh yeah, that shit adds up really quickly.
It really does.
I have one thing to add with moonshine, just real
Yes.
quick. Regarding current legislation and the charges for moonshine, they do not match. A misdemeanor possession of moonshine, as written in legislation, is anything less than 24 kilograms, and felony is anything over that. That does not match our charges at all.
That's a good thing to note down. I think there's a lot of things that don't match right now. So we talked about this
Honestly-
a couple meetings ago about having some clerks go through and do the actual updating, but I don't think anything has moved on that yet. So
I really think
No, it
that the
has.
Chief
It's just-
Justice, I think the Chief Justice and whatever's going on the DOJ
Sorry, guys.
should look over and revise charges and amend things.
I'm sure they will.
I would love to see bigger punishments for things like torture.
Yeah, well, that's a conversation we can have in a week from now.
Oh shit!
If you do, I would say come with the suggestion of how much of a bigger whatever you're wanting it, and then so that we can actually
That
discuss what you
fits.
guys would be wanting for that.
An eye for an eye.
Literally?
Mhm.
Take their eye if they take an eye?
No, we just make them have to sit with Nikki for a day. That should be enough.
Okay, that's too far. Too far.
It's really far.
What's people's opinions on fraud and embezzlement charges being reflective of the amount of money they've embezzled, rather than a set charge?
I agree
They should
that
be.
those charges should be kind of like how things are set to 0-0, and they should be determined in court due to the.
That'd be a great idea.
It should be as an individual basis.
I agree.
Yeah.
There is a clause in embezzlement now that allows you to claw back the specific amount that they did take, yeah. But I mean, that
But
doesn't mean that you couldn't reframe the penalties as they're applied, because I do think that there should be a harsher penalty. It's like $25,000 is fucking nothing, really.
Can I be honest with you? What they're just going to do, and I know this from operating in a criminal enterprise for many years, as well as a foreign nation's army. What they're just going to do is they're going to get their group together. They're going to pay off the shit they owe in drug money, but where you really hit them is the fucking assets. I mean, essentially, if someone is suspected of fraud, all their properties and cars and everything should be locked down, and that's what it should be collected from. All right.
That's
If
what
they-
hurts the most. I agree.
and here's the
that's
thing:
what
what it
Bruce
comes
Bailey,
down
though.
to is if that certain individual doesn't have access to enough money in their direct account, all right, and if any money has been funneled into that account post the lockdown, it should be fucking ignored, and you seize the value through the assets, their homes, their fucking cars, and you fucking punish these people and you go after them. Because otherwise, all these groups, they just will pull together they'll say, "Oh, we owe $20 million, boys. Let's go deal drugs for a week." All right, and then they'll fucking hand off all the money, all right, and they'll pay it off, and they won't get hit where it actually hurts.
I want to add on to that. Not only do I agree with everything you said, I also think there should be judicial discretion for a potential multiplicative fine or application of that amount that can be clawed back as a punitive measure. So say somebody embezzled 20 million, you could multiply that amount by 1.5 and give them a $30 million penalty.
Yeah, that's something that should be legislated, though, as when they engage in the bribe act, that the penalty will be percentage based.
About the grants that are with bribes, it already has ability to claw back
Higher note issue.
any profits that were generated off of those improperly used.
Yeah, but it should be more though, because otherwise that's just the cost of doing business. You get caught, you just lose everything you illegally gained and nothing more, right?
But let's not ignore that objectively that is so much harder to prove. Like that is with the way our current financial system is and the way people operate and hand off and pass cash and stuff, you could never articulate an exact amount, and then even proven that it was profit gained or whatever would be very difficult in court. I mean, people entering into a contract
it's a lot
with the state
of
or any
opinion
type of agency
and
when it
not
comes
a
to
lot
loans,
of action.
These contracts are defined.
Speaking
All right?
is
try not
easy.
paying your mortgage for 2
Doing
months and see what the fuck
is
happens.
difficult.
All right, they'll take your fucking house, they'll keep all the money you put down, and then they'll sell that shit on the market. It'll be on Zillow the next day.
True. 100%.
Yo, this stirs. Yo.
Right, then. Are we all done?
I think, Stacy, do you have anything?
I mean, I kind of went over it when I spoke earlier. I'm just working on a couple of rewrites because about a week ago, a couple legislations were released, so I've been just reviewing those, and there was some concerns with psych, so just kind of touching up on a lot of the other things. And then I was also working with people to try to figure out, like I said, we worked with Pred, so not too much outside of that. Like I said, I just trying to really start moving that truck forward, but the drug one was the biggest this week. So just getting the idea how to work that out. And like Brett said, we'll do a meeting now or later and finish hashing that out. And I can start presenting that. I'm happy to do it.
And then for the justices, did you guys push forward the obstruction of government or public computer systems yet?
The one that one put forward, right? The one with the GPS.
Oh gosh, dang it!
Which,
I'm
by
so
the way,
sorry.
it was used yesterday. I
thought
believe
it was justices. Sorry.
I don't remember.
No, it wasn't us.
Nope.
I think we gave input on
It is
it.
in charges.
Oh, you mean is in law? Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
I thought you meant like a change or something to it. That's why I was confused.
And then the perverting of the court of justice. That
Perversion
went
of the
through
course
as well.
of justice.
Has that gone through fully?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Then yeah. Unless you guys have anything else new to bring.
No, just kind of teeing up for next week so that everything is primed for whoever gets Chief Justice. It's all ready to go and easy to understand what's going on, and they can kind of take it from there.
I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of people
Alrighty,
in
good
here.
meeting, guys.
Happy
that are
holidays,
there
everybody.
on notice.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
All right.
Looking
Yeah, we
forward
say Merry
to some
Christmas in
prime
my
rib
household.
roast. May your chickens and turkeys be tender and your roast
That's the
ham
only
be
thing
delicious.
you know how to make.
Stacy.
Yes, it's because prime rib is delicious. Do you have a problem
Prime
with
rib is pretty good.
Can I see you
Everybody
outside,
likes
Stacy?
prime rib,
About
but I've
something?
never seen you make anything else. I've never seen you make.
Hey.
What's going on, Brent?
Pretty good. Not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
I'm doing okay.
So we still set on Wednesday, yeah?
Yeah. I think we go for it on Wednesday. It's I don't want to put it off till after New Year's because we could be another 3 weeks out. I mean, some people are going to miss out on it, but there's always going to be people missing out on things. So
Yeah. When snow's available, I can always run it back with them. Or run something back with them.
yeah, this is not intended to be the last because I'm fully aware that people are not going to be able to master this shit like in an hour or two or how long this exercise ends up being. Ventura tonight, 5 p.m.
Yeah. 5?
Yeah, 5 p.m. is yes, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think our lift is still yapping inside. What the hell happened to your car, Breakaway?
Everyone's abusing my shit, man.
Oh. Bow, 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 bow. Do do do.